Pretty hot day out here, my goodness. Just trying to get everybody hooked on. All right, everyone. YouTube banned me for a week. For obvious reasons, you know. The video that I made about a week ago just didn't seem too bright. It seemed pretty controversial for some audiences. You know what video I'm talking about. I'm not going to talk about it. The only word that I can give you is Tulsa. I think you know what I'm talking about. I was banned for 7 days. It was the first time I was banned on YouTube like this. I was talking about both sides. And apparently, you know, the organization and the people behind it, yeah, they're not the kinds of people that YouTube really tolerate. Not just them, but the Southern Poverty Law Center and so forth. As you know, the video barely got any views. It didn't even get 50 views. So it's not just like you have like 200,000 subscribers. You could even be uploading these within minutes. They will shut you down. If you've noticed that even when you try to post or comment something, it won't get posted. Now, we all know why they're doing this. We know there's an agenda in mind. We all know that the point is to obviously distract, divide the society that we live in order to push certain laws and policies that they want. For an example, they're trying to provide reparations. State of California is doing that. Now, I tell them, well, if you want to be fair, maybe you can ask the country that my parents come from, Iran, to also have reparations for blacks. There are Afro-Iranians. Blacks are living in Iraq, many Arab states, India, even as far east as China. They were part of the slave trade. This is a historical fact. This is not hate speech. All right? But the fact is, they don't really care. The fact is that they want to carry their agenda. And as a result of this, folks, I'm really considering moving away from topics such as race, such as the social justice issue, perhaps even immigration. Because I'm getting fed up with this. Now, of course, on the other hand, the fact that I was taken down, this further proves that I was right. They didn't even try to debunk it. They didn't even try to fact check it, nothing. They just took it down and they said it was hate speech. But they didn't even prove, well, I'm just reading what was going on about 100 years ago. They don't care. And that's the thing. I'm just going to be moving away from these topics. And a lot of people say, well, it's their private property, but I'm not really doing much on their physical property. And this isn't just people like the Richard Spencers, the David Dukes, the Jared Taylors of the world that they're oppressing. They are censoring Naomi Prince or Naomi Wolf, I'm not sure. They're censoring Sex Killer Talk. They're censoring Jimmy Dore. People who are all over the political spectrum. It's not about your ideology. It's about the fact, and I've told you this many, many times. Are you for or against the establishment? That's the bottom line. But I'm actually pretty proud because that tells me I'm on the right track and I'm speaking the truth. And I'm not buying to all this propaganda that they're actually spewing out. Now, the question is, somebody just asked, why did they ban me? Well, I did a video about the Tulsa event that happened 100 years ago, and I can give you the links if you like. I was just reading the article, and apparently YouTube just didn't find it in terms of their community guidelines or whatever that may be. I'm getting sick of it, folks. And as a result, and I almost forgot to tell you this, now the video is still in Odyssey. You can go take a look at it. However, I'm going to be increasingly uploading to BitChute. Not only the fact that they're more tolerant for these types of views. I mean, we see a lot of people comment and use the N-word a lot. The fact is that I'm getting a lot more views on BitChute. I have only 12 subscribers, and I can get videos with over 100 views. So the system that they have makes it easier for me to become a star rather than going on YouTube. There's just too much competition. The system is rigged or something. I don't know. A lot of other large YouTube channels are even struggling too, who are not part of the establishment. That's the thing you've got to consider. So from now on, I'm going to be talking about certain topics. Now, in this channel, I've been talking about immigration, race, the social justice culture that has been growing out of control. I'm not going to be talking about these topics anymore. The policy issues, it's gone. What I am going to be talking about is more of the financial markets and in terms of what we can do in architecture and urban planning. Because as you know, the main reason why I have interest in the Las Vegas Valley is because I'm trying to build a project. So I'm going to be going after the real estate development projects, their flaws, they're overpriced, and about my alternatives. And I think there's a lot of audiences for that. However, don't hold your breath too long. Because in Facebook, I've even noticed that even YouTube channels that are just talking about, or other large social media platforms, talking about the financial markets, talking about architectural design. There's this Facebook page called Homes Before 1950. You know, certainly I'm a fan of the historic homes, and it got taken down. So folks, this isn't just mainly about radical political views. These are a variety of topics, but I'm still going to try, because if they really start taking it down, then I think they're going to really make a fool out of themselves. It's just unbelievable. Now, I don't know, maybe because they want people to get screwed financially, they want these gold bugs or these perma stock market bulls to keep getting their message out there. Maybe they want the problems in architecture, transportation, and land use, urban design to continue, because that's one of the ways they control us. They don't want traditional culture to blend. Pretty soon they're going to say, well, all these architectural styles you like, that's white supremacy. And the fact that even the Las Vegas Strip, which has a lot of European culture, that's white supremacy. Notice how they don't have a Persian-themed Cyrus Palace Hotel. Think about it. It's whatever goes with their narrative. It's not just certain controversial topics. And the fact proves that perhaps we're winning, because we're getting the voice out there, we're waking people up. Now, if you look back about 10 years ago, they tried to censor us. I believe they tried to bring us SOPA. Remember the Occupy Wall Street movement? The media on mainstream outlets, from whether it was Fox or CNN, were not a fan of it, because the internet was spreading the information. So what did they do? Now, they could have censored it. That's one thing. However, they try to hijack the movement. This whole social justice, woke, anti-traditional movement, it didn't just start in the 60s. It accelerated after 2012. Now, notice how that happened after the Occupy movement. Because remember, they wanted to hijack the movement, particularly George Soros, so they can distract and divide the country. Instead of fighting the Federal Reserve, the Wall Street, the income inequality, the real estate bubble that was going to be reinflated, the fact that they didn't want people to rise up to prevent another late 2000s panic, they wanted to distract and divide and create a war among each other, like George Carlin has said many, many times, to basically pump up BLM, the mass immigration, the new voter base, identity politics. You look at gender, how increasingly women aren't getting married, they're single moms, they're single and independent, all that stuff, the anti-marriage, the anti-nuclear family, the anti-American tradition, Anglo-Saxon values. It was all designed to distract and divide the country. So we get distracted from the Wall Street elites. Not only this benefits them in terms of their financial aspects, but it prevents us from actually uniting the country. That's the thing. And speaking of all the censorship, they're already regretting, folks. They're already regretting, about the whole pandemic, about what was going on. They're no longer censoring like they used to, because people are waking up. They're realizing the point of the masks. They're realizing the point of the shutdowns. What was this all about? Now, I'm not making opinion whether it's a good idea or not. So if YouTube, if you want to take this down for a fact or opinion I just stated, then you are essentially, you're getting wrong information about me, and I can potentially sue you. Because I didn't make a statement. I'm just telling what you guys have been doing, believe it or not. That's the thing. But they're regretting it. This is why they're pumping the BLM. This is why the politicians are pandering to DACA, TPS. Thank God for the recent ruling, by the way. Now, a lot of you think, okay, well, we can just go to BitChute, we can just go to Odyssey, we can go to Gab, we can go to a lot of different platforms, and we'll just be happily ever after. Now, think again, first of all. And I haven't really joined a lot of those other platforms. What was the other one I forgot that I just tried to download? There's many other ways. I've told you about this about a couple of weeks ago. You don't need these nut jobs to spread the word. Go out, buy some small signs they use for campaigning. Talk about the issues. Place large banners in your community. I know it may not be legal, but try. Get the word out. Place large signs and chain link fences. I just printed out a custom-made Nevada flag, which I'll show you very, very soon. Yeah, Kevin McDonald. Yeah, I know him. I tried to contact him. He wouldn't respond for some reason. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can go out with a megaphone. Pull your windows down. Speak out. You can go on a boat ride. Carry on your message. You can fly something in the air with a message. Those are free public platforms. Can they shut you down? I doubt it. Now, of course, those require a lot of effort and a lot of money. And I'm willing to do that. Because, as you know, the NASDAQ is at near all-time highs. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to cash that out and use that money to make a message. And this speaks to all this. The powers to be, the wealthy elites, they're against what we're talking about. Remember, your ideology should not just be left or right. It should be against whatever their platform really is. The Occupy movement, a lot of people say it was leftists. But it was not what the billionaires wanted. The things that I talked about and I got shut down for, people say it's extreme right, but it's not what the billionaires wanted. So you can go out there, fly something, and if you have a lot of money, you can get the word out there. You have power. You can set up meetings. If you get sued, you can use a lot for your defense. That's the thing. But the reason why these movements haven't gone further is because people like myself, people like Jared Taylor, they don't have the millions and possibly billions of dollars to fight back. That's why we're in this situation, as far as I know. So you got to look and subscribe to my other platforms, the BitChute, CYRUS992. Please take a look. I've uploaded many videos that were pretty controversial, and I might take down some previous videos. I'm essentially done with a lot of these topics. I'm just going to be talking about, for an example, stay tuned next week, the Resorts World Hotel and Casino. It's going to be opening in the north end of the Las Vegas Strip. Stay tuned. I will be live. I'm going to be filming what's going to be going on, not to mention the new People Mover system that's coming along. That way, thank God I was able to get my channel back. It wasn't easy. It was pretty frustrating. But who knows? They might take down this channel altogether. They may even come more stricter. Bring it on. I don't care. In fact, YouTube is not getting me anywhere, really. I'm doing this because on my spare time, to do the best I can, to make as much as difference as possible. We're in a pretty critical situation right now. And in fact, speaking of all these media platforms, I think pretty soon they may even have a communications blackout. They may shut down the whole internet. Well, I don't know. A lot of businesses are going to suffer. The fact is, the powers that be, they know that the word is getting out through BitChute and all these other platforms about what was going on in the last year and a half. And I'm not going to talk about exactly because I don't want this channel to be taken down. They know that, well, the word is getting out, truth is being exposed, And not just in policy issues, many other things. And they don't want people to wake up. They're realizing that for decades they've been controlling us through the media. They've been controlling us through the academia, all these different things. Even look at urban planning. You see how the neighborhoods are built. We barely have any sense of community, get to know our neighbors. A lot of that is part of it. The work culture. They want people to be relatively isolated, not just from the neighbors, but from the truth in general. That's what's really going on. But people are waking up and they're fed up with it. And I'm very optimistic we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting fed up with this whole, social justice narrative. I'm not even European descent. Just look at me. We don't scream about discrimination, about racial inequity, all this other nonsense. I'm getting more successful by the year. And all this double standards, it's also affecting me too. And pretty soon, they're going to start censoring people who are speaking out against the modern woman who's sleeping around or spending too much on her career and her school in her 20s, hitting the wall after 28 or 35, and then complaining about the dating market and being lonely. People are just waking up. They're fed up. And you're seeing the effects of the alternative views on the birth rates, on the marriage rates. Now, I'm not saying it's all because of that. You get the idea. Channels like Better Bachelor, channels like Think Before You Sleep, the MGTOW movement. That's what's going on, folks. We're not in a very, very comfortable position. But I'm sure we'll get there. Now, what do you guys think? You guys have any questions? Please give me some questions. I'm going to be sticking around for the next 30 seconds. So, have any questions or anything? Let me see if I can... go through. Yeah, bell curve. Yeah, I know about that. Although I don't think that it's as accurate as they tell. I don't think that's not the correct measure of intelligence. Let's see if I have any questions. Getting my house ready to sell. Yeah, going to be leaving to California. Oh, man. I get what you mean. But if you leave California, first of all, I think it's sending a message to the establishment that their state sucks, by the way. But if you go to a state like Utah or whatever, fight in that state because there are migrant caravans and they're being redistributed all across the country. Fight. Notice how your neighborhoods change. Notice how businesses change. Notice how your schools get overoccupied. Think about it. Let me look at some other comments. The national purge needs to be happening. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that we may have a period of time that a lot of people, I don't want to sound like a nut job, a lot of them may just pass away for obvious reasons. We may see neighborhoods that look dead again. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know why. I'm not going to talk about it because, well, this video is going to be taken down. And I do think there's going to be likely some kind of disruption, economic, political, social, some disruption one way or another, technological. A lot of people are going to just not be there. And I think this may be a good, natural, healthy thing that we need or something. Look at the Black Plague and look what it followed. We had a Renaissance. We could get one again. I'm all about Renaissance design and artistry. Think about it. All right, everybody. I got to get going. I'm right now sweating out here. It's quite hot out here. Now, as far as you don't need to be fearful, I'm not going to be fearful. I'm going to have prayers. And have I thought about moving to a rural area? Absolutely. Some of my friends in northern Nevada told me to go up there. I've thought about Idaho. I've thought about some areas in South Carolina. I've even thought about leaving the country. The elites are not going to allow a crash. Look, folks, I think for the elites it's pretty profitable if it crashes because let's say if something goes from 300 to 100. All Sorry about that. Temperature's pretty hot, so my phone overheated. My apologies. But anyway, take a look at my BitChute channel. Please spread the word. Go to my Odyssey, whatever it is. Thank you guys so much. And let's just keep fighting, okay?